Sports Pod, Ep.2. Back with the regular crew.
Aaron Garcia.
Jamie Nunez.
And yeah, we're just going to hop right into it. So, first devastating story of the week, or last week? No, it was this week. Damian Lillard got traded. Our predictions were all wrong last week. Traded to the Bucks. That kind of makes the Bucks the prohibitive favorite in the East right now to make it to the conference finals. So, I'm sure we all have a lot to say. Let's start with Abram. What do you got to say for us?
Yeah, I was looking back at episode 1, and I was cringing at myself because I was saying that the Heat were 100% going to get him. I said that it was inevitable and all that. And not only he got traded somewhere else, but he got traded to the team that was number 1 in the East last year, the team that has given us problems. Even though we have beat them 2 times, it has been one of the main competitors. And then on top of that, Joe Holiday gets traded to the Celtics literally a few days later. So both teams that you will say are our biggest competition, both got a lot better, and we haven't done anything yet. So I'm worried. Obviously, we still have our main players, but I think there's definitely a reason to be worried at the moment.
I wouldn't say we haven't done anything yet. We did fill one hole. I can't say that we filled all of our holes, but we did make some positive adjustments as far as replacing Max Strus with Jason Richardson. I think that's a really, really solid piece on both ways of the floor, on defense especially. And I feel like we're not missing as much of the shooting with him too. He's still a pretty solid shooter. We do have the hole at point guard right now. I did hear reports that, Lowry expects to be starting. And I also did hear reports that Spoelstra is still, he's the type of coach that you have to earn it. Even though you're literally the only point guard on the team, you still need to earn your spot in not only in the starting lineup, but on the team, like 100%. And I'm on board with that. And he knows that. That's why he says he expects. He's not saying I am. He expects to be. He's going to earn that spot. But either way, we still do need a point guard for sure. I know I saw Jay Rich doing some handling drills. I know Tyler, obviously, he's a ball handler, but he's more so of a shooter. But I do also think the emergence of Orlando Robinson in the Summer League and getting rid of Cody Zeller, not for nothing, huge plus, huge addition by subtraction. Not going to lie, I'll be honest. Sorry, love you, Cody, but
This is the second time we rank on Cody Zeller's podcast.
Yeah, hey, we'd love to have you on, but listen, it's just my opinion. But like I said, even Omer Yurtseven, getting rid of him and just having Orlando Robinson and Thomas Bryant now, I really think those are 2 solid bigs that can help us out in multiple ways, specifically in the playoffs, helping out Bam and that load off his back for defensive pressure. When he needs a breather, we can throw in these 2 guys and they'll be solid. Orlando still has to prove himself, don't get me wrong, but he had a really, really strong outing in the Summer League. He was one of the top producers in Summer League. So I'm super, super hyped on him for sure.
For sure. And a big piece for me is Jovic, of course. He's still super young, but he looks like he has a lot of potential. He played great for Serbia. And I hope he gets some minutes this year. He barely played last year. Playoffs got absolutely 0 minutes, I think. But, yeah, if we could have Jovic running the point at some point, just to, give him some reps out there.
I love that
Maybe
idea.
He has some potential. As a big point guard is really, kind of the meta in the NBA right now. Starting with LeBron, 6'8", running the point. You got Luka running the point. Jovic running the point for us would be huge. It would space the floor. He's a good shooter. I think, our toughest, of course, situation is going to have to deal with, the Dame and Giannis high pick and roll now.
For
going
sure.
into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Boston, I don't know. I'm not worried about Boston.
Yeah.
But, typical Miami sports fan opinion, I'm not worried about Boston.
What do you think,
Sorry,
Abram?
Professor.
It's tough, bro. We have literally gone against Boston 3 times in the last 4 years, and two of the last series have been Game 7s. And last year they almost made us be the first team to blow a 3-0 lead, and it just got better. So I can't count them out, but Boston is that type of thing that ever since 2008 they have been able to make it to another championship. But something I do want to talk about in the media day, we saw Tyler Hero. I love the way he handled all the questions that got asked.
Absolutely.
He was actually very honest about it. He said that he heard it, he knows it. He was saying, if Portland didn't want me, it doesn't bother me because I know I am. And even though he was putting so many trade packages, he's still committed to a team and he's still willing to be 100% for Miami. So I think Tyler Hero, he's finally going to take that jump to maybe All-Star. I could definitely see it. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, definitely not I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility, especially coming from someone who won 6th Man of the Year only in his second, maybe third year in the league. And, I saw his trainer put on Instagram that he was going to average, the goal for him is to average 26 points per game, which I think is also in the realm of possibility when you account that, injuries come into play. Jimmy, I can tell you right now, he's not going to play every single game. As well as, losing Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. There's a bunch of shots that are going to need to be taken, and Jay Rich is good. He's capable, but I don't know if he's capable of shooting, like 8 threes, 7, 9 threes a game. Like, how we literally design plays for Strus to get off a shot, any type of shot, because we know he's really good at that, right? I don't think we're going to do that as much with Jay Rich, but we may see an uptake in that with Hero, right? And just really quick to wrap off this whole, Dame and being traded to Milwaukee, and then we can move on to Boston. They ended up getting Robert Williams. They ended up getting Drew Holiday for, I don't even think it was 24 hours, maybe, right, guys?
Yeah,
they also, got DeAndre Ayton, and they also got some other pieces. But all in all, there's no way that I can be convinced that this trade package was better than the Miami Heat's, especially if we were willing to go all out with Hero, one of our young guys, if not both. And then I also heard we were looking to give up Caleb Martin at that point. Yeah. So I think it was like a out of spite thing that they didn't want to do business with us, not only once, but twice. And this is where we can transition into, Portland dealing with Boston, right? Drew Holiday was also traded in the midst of all this madness to the Boston Celtics, but they did pay a pretty penny. They not only traded 2 first-round picks, but they also traded, in my opinion, one of their best interior defenders in Robert Williams, and they also traded, who else did they trade in that trade?
Malcolm Brogdon.
Oh, yeah. And they also traded away Malcolm Brogdon, right? Who, not for nothing, I feel like wasn't the best fit. He's a really solid player, but I don't think he really fit that team. He fit the mold.
Some like elbow injury troubles, so
right.
He was a hard piece to get rid of. I think they wanted to drop him, so
right. And then so that's just one of the trades they did, and then they also got Porzingis right in the offseason. I think they gave up a pretty good amount too. I mean, trading your heart and soul of the defense and your leader Marcus Smart, and you also got rid of Grant Williams, who not for nothing. You glued him, like if you're like talking to Boston, like if you glued him on Jimmy for like the second half of the series this past postseason, and obviously it didn't work, but like who else are you going to put there now, And Porzingis, not only is he injury prone, but Bam loves playing against this man, God. So
Bam, when he sees that Celtics defense.
So in my opinion, I think the Boston Celtics got a little worse by, I think they got worse in the areas where they shouldn't have. Like they got weaker in certain areas, and obviously they improved. But all in all, I think we beat them in a 7-game series. But I wanted to know what you guys think. Abram, what do you think?
Yeah, that's what I would say, because I agree with you a lot that they lost more than people think. Grant Williams and Marcus Smart were 2 of the biggest, like you said, heart and soul, and they had that fiery to them. And that's something I don't really see that much in Tatum and Brown. They're super skilled, but I don't know if Tatum has that leader mentality yet, and Jalen Brown either. And Porzingis, I don't really trust him as the only center of the team. I know I still have Al Horford, but he's like 37 years old at this point. I think Bam's going to cook them up. Let's say we're talking super ahead, but even if they go against the Sixers, if the Sixers are able to figure out Joel Embiid is going to feast in the paint, Porzingis is not going to be able to guard him. So I definitely understand that. Boston has always been this team that is super skilled, but that intangible side of it. And they lost a lot of intangible in the offseason.
100%. I agree.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Boston, honestly, doesn't move the needle for me. I don't think, like for better or worse, the changes they made, I think when matched up against Miami, it's going to go in a similar direction. Even though we did lose Strus and Gabe, who are big like offensive producers for us in the series, Duncan can step up to fill kind of the hole that Max leaves. Gabe, I think if we move Jovic, make some moves with Jovic. I'm a big Jovic guy.
I love how high you are on Jovic, man. I love it. Me too.
Oh my God.
And I also heard that he wasn't even looking to play overseas in FIBA, but Spoelstra was actually the one to be like, hey, like we want to see you out there and see you perform, And just to wrap this up really quick, it's going to be also interesting to see Bam entering his prime. I think it's safe to say this is the first year of his prime. And definitely going to be interesting, not only just in the playoffs, but during the whole season, how he improved from when we drafted him, and like that jump from the finals especially.
And just a few tweaks to Bam's offensive game, he could be like, he's already one of the best big men in the league. He could take that next step with just like a little bit of tweak to the post game. If Bam had like a Tim Duncan post game, like obviously not, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. No,
if he got in the
you.
gym with Tim Duncan and Tim Duncan gave him a little off the backboard, Tim Duncan swag.
Going against
God, Bam would be
Jovic,
unstoppable.
going against Jovic in the finals, going against Joel Embiid, previously, like
I'm not worried about Joel Embiid.
like that, but that just makes you like such a better player, right? And a
for
defender,
sure.
offensively and defensively. But yeah, so very, very exciting to see some of the stuff. I think obviously we, I believe the Miami Heat can easily win 2 rounds.
For sure.
I can easily see us appearing in the conference finals, and from there, it just depends on health. I think at that point, because depending on who's healthy and who's hurt, I can tell you whether we win or lose, honestly. But I'm very confident in not only us going to the East Finals, but even going back to the NBA Finals. Honestly,
I would say that I am afraid of the Bucks because Lillard and Giannis team up. I know we still got to see them actually perform on the court.
That's like a fantasy lineup.
Yeah, but it's looking really
fantasy lineup
perfect.
right there.
And then you have Lillard, somebody that wants to make it to the finals. He's gonna be hungry, and we all know how competitive Giannis is, and he wants to redeem himself from that loss he just got to Heat. So I hope that series happens because it's gonna be 5 for everybody.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's gonna be a movie.
Yeah. So, moving on, let's touch on the other bigger topic, the Dolphins. So we got some trade rumors, but first let's talk about the big blowout.
Man, yeah,
Do
that was a
we
rough
really
one.
have to talk about it?
I think we should talk about both blowouts because we didn't talk about their blowout
And
when they
then-
blew out the other team, and then we got blown out a little bit after. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the momentum got nipped in the bud a little bit, but
Yeah, so the Marlins. So the Miami Dolphins were fresh off of, 50-point blowout at home for their home opener against the Denver Broncos, who, it's funny, last season their problem was offense and their defense was good, but now this season their problem is defense and their offense is actually pretty okay. It could be better, but it's not where it was last year. So putting 70 points, I feel like we can do that on any other team. But obviously we put up 5 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns. First team to ever do that. Our defense helped us out a lot at that point in time. But, transitioning back to this past Sunday against the Buffalo Bills, that was a tough pill to swallow. They did a lot of great things defensively. They were cutting off Tua's passing lanes. We were running pretty decent, but even McDaniel after the game himself admitted that he abandoned the run a little bit too early. And, our defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. We were getting absolutely obliterated by Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I don't think they do that again come week 18 when they come to Miami. I doubt they do that because by that point in time, not only will we have Jalen Phillips back in our lineup, not only will we have a healthy Teron Armstead in that lineup, but we will also have all-pro corner Jalen Ramsey. And not for nothing, the Buffalo Bills did just suffer a huge loss in Tre'Davious White. He actually ruptured his Achilles, so that's a huge blow for them as well. And but come week 18, barring health, they will have Von Miller as well. So addition by subtraction, but we did get our butts kicked.
we looked a
pretty
little
bad.
flustered for sure.
Yeah,
A little flustered, and we just never got back into that groove. So
Yeah, but like we have here, our next 2 games are gonna be against easy teams. We're gonna be 5-1. So what I would say to Dolphins fans, don't panic. Definitely not a time to panic. We're still 3-1.
especially against that New York defense.
Yeah, we're gonna destroy them. Let's see. Maybe we can break another record against them.
Yeah, so we actually have 2 back-to-back home games against the New York Giants this Sunday, and then the following Sunday is going to be against the Carolina Panthers. And right now, they're currently 0-4, and they're looking for their first win. They actually play this Thursday, so we can definitely tune in and see whether or not Bryce Young and company get their first win, and see if they're going to have some momentum going into the next Sunday. But the Giants are banged up. Saquon's hurt. Daniel Jones. It's hard. I'm not putting all the blame on him, but it's hard to be successful in this league, especially that quarterback, when your offensive line gives you not even literally 1 second of protection. It's tough, especially after going to the playoffs last year and beating Minnesota. in the way they did, the fall off for the Giants is crazy.
Yeah, before we move on, I actually wanted to ask you because we're having it. You were talking the other day about Josh Allen. You were saying that you don't believe he's as good as people say.
Yeah.
And I wanted for you to drop that hot take for the podcast to see what our viewers think about that.
Yeah, I still stand by that for sure. We were depleted, like I said, not to make an excuse, but he's definitely good, right? I just don't think he's as good as everyone else says he is. Remember, this is the guy who, since he came into the league, turned the ball over at a high rate, and it's actually up there with one of like top 3, if I'm not mistaken, turnovers, fumble and interception since he's been in the league. But even last season, him and Dak Prescott, they tied the league in most interceptions thrown for the season, and Dak Prescott missed a good amount of games. And, I understand Josh Allen had a banged up elbow last season. So some people will tell me that, but, people give Tua crap all the time from when he was hurt in the past and, never gave him a break. So, I'm gonna use the same logic with Josh Allen, so it's like, he's really good. He's capable, right? He's very capable of making these crazy throws and these crazy runs. But this is still the same quarterback who was in Miami last year and lost on the last play of the game because he couldn't get the ball up. He couldn't zing. He didn't have enough zip on it. His arm was tired, right? So, like, he's human. I understand he's really good, but I still stand by that he's not as good as everyone says he is because, at the end of the day, there's no ring to prove it. Joe Burrow doesn't have a ring to prove it. Look at him now. Like, these are all players that are so good and talented, but football is a lot more than just being really tall and really fast. It's very much a mental game, and that's why I love my guy Tua. Tua is perfect for this system, and even for my friends who ask me, would you want Josh Allen instead of Tua? Absolutely not, because this man has the fastest processing brain in the league, Tua, and super accurate. I don't think there's anyone else as accurate as Tua, like, seriously, right now. But yeah, that's my take on it. With all due respect to Josh Allen and the Bills.
And if you disagree, let us know in the comments. But yeah. So we could touch on, before we get to the Marlins, quickly touch on Inter Miami. It's looking rough. No Messi. Supposedly Messi, well, not supposedly, allegedly, he could be out for the season. He also announced that he's opting out of his contract at the end of 2025 to go play for a club in Argentina. So after 2025, it seems that Miami's time as a soccer town might be over. I don't know if I asked this last time about if you guys think Miami will remain a soccer town after Messi's gone.
Yeah, I don't think you asked that.
I don't think you touched
so.
on it. So I want to get your opinions because I don't know if Miami is much of a soccer town. I know it was a big football town. When LeBron came, it turned into a huge basketball town. I want to know your thoughts on, is Inter Miami here to stay, or is it going to die down a little bit when Messi leaves?
That's a good question. Looking at my friend group and the people that I know, I only have a few friends that are really big soccer fans. Everybody else, they don't care that much. They only know Messi, Ronaldo. But if I ask you to name a third player, unless it's Neymar, you're not going to have a third person to name. So I don't know. It will have to be that in this next year, a lot of hype is built around it. There was a lot of hype when Messi first came, but now since it's been injured, it's been dying down. And I haven't heard most people talking about it lately.
Yeah.
So if I had to give one prediction, I would say no. I think that the hype is gonna die down. I don't know if Inter Miami's gonna stop being a team or anything like that, but I think that same hype that we're seeing right now, I don't know. It's definitely not gonna maintain, and I don't think it's gonna become a soccer city moving forward.
I disagree. I think actually it maybe not maintain the level, but I believe it'll be so like contagious and infectious, especially with the World Cup coming around the corner and being in the United States. I think that plays, and who knows, maybe Messi plays in the World Cup again, right? Like I'm sure he loves his country so much, he loves soccer so much, football, I'm sure he can't resist himself, but no better way than to go out on top. So we'll see. But I really believe that his impact on the city of Miami and just South Florida in general, recruiting the players he has from, his clubs and his, national team where he played with, that's like, it really, I think it's a cause and effect thing. It's definitely a domino effect. And like I said, especially with the World Cup around the corner, I really do think it's going to be more, definitely going to be more prominent than it has in the past. You know, like when you compare soccer in Miami to when before Messi came to after, I think it's going to be night and day. You know, as far as people wearing like Inter Miami gear or like, you know, stuff like that, like, you know, being and just paying attention, like being, you know, invested into Miami soccer.
There's a new arena coming down the road as well. So, yeah, we'll see. As for the games, we have a game against Chicago tonight. We basically have to win the rest of the games.
Yeah, I actually, I think our next few opponents are actually like bottom 5 teams. So we do have obviously we have a shot, right? Just like the Marlins, we have a shot, but you know, without your best player.
Without Messi, yeah, we were a bottom team without Messi. So we'll see. The only thing
Go ahead.
I would say that we need to get some more Robert Taylor minutes out there because I think Robert Taylor is like
underrated.
I think he is underrated, and I think taking him out of the starting lineup was not the right call. Obviously, like, you know, who am I to say? But
yeah, who knows? And
I'm
you know,
a Robbie Taylor guy, so.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely should see more Taylor minutes. But really quick too, we actually have a new South Florida team. I don't know if you guys heard. It's this new rugby team. It's actually called the Miami Sharks, and it's a new, not a new league. It's been around for some years, but they just added, you know, every so often, you know, every year or so they add a new team, like an expansion team. And we now have a rugby team in the city of Miami, and they are actually practicing at the Inter Miami Stadium. And if I'm not mistaken, they're also playing in the Inter Miami Stadium because, ironically enough, their owners are actually Argentinian. Wow. And their owners are actually Argentinian. So there's definitely some cross referencing or what it is, some cross play there with Inter Miami. And, in the rugby team. So definitely something to look forward to this upcoming season. I have a buddy of mine who actually got traded to the Miami Sharks, which is pretty cool. Shout out to my friend Chase Haskin.
Maybe we'll bring him on one day.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Mistaken, you're writing an article for Heated.
Yeah. I'm writing an article for Heated. It's going to be a nice little Q&A story about rugby and about his journey to where he is now. You know, this is the guy who's been playing like overseas, like I think it was Australia or New Zealand, and he played for Team USA. You know, he played 7-on-7s. So yeah, you know, it's gonna be super cool to get that story out there, and it's just crazy how Miami sports is like continually winning, right? Like we just got Messi, and now we have a whole new rugby team. So that's gonna be interesting to see how the impression of that resonates with the culture here in in Miami, because rugby is very much an international, like a global sport. And, it's going to be interesting to see how receptive the city is to that.
Yeah, so if you're on the Heated website, make sure you make your way to the articles section and take a little peek at that. So
absolutely. And
Marlins now, right?
Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, do you have something else to...
No. Yeah, let's talk about the Marlins, man.
Let's get into the Marlins. We played tonight as well.
Yeah, we played tonight at 8:08 in Philadelphia.
Lost yesterday.
We did. So obviously, since the last time, the people saw us, we were still in the hunt. So we did clinch the playoffs, right, for the first time in 20 years, right, for a full season. I'm not going to count the COVID year. I'm not going to do that. The first real playoff clinch since 2003 when we won the World Series. And each time we've clinched the playoffs in a full season, we've won the World Series. Fun fact, in 2003, when we lost our first game in the playoffs, we actually won the World Series, right? So there's still hope for us. We are down 0-1 in the series so far, but we do have Braxton Garrett pitching tonight. And our best player, Luis Arraez, he did, pretty much guarantee that we're going to kick their butts. He didn't say that part, but he said it, if you know what I mean. But there's a couple interesting, stats. The Marlins had a run differential of -55, which is like horrible. It's actually the lowest in the National League or the American League this season, and we're the first team ever to make the playoffs with the run differential that bad. So that's pretty interesting. It's almost like we don't deserve to be there, but like we freaking earned it, So what do you guys think? Do you guys think we can pull off back-to-back wins? Because that's the only way we can advance and play the Braves, the Atlanta Braves. This is a series best of 3. So Philly right now has one, and all the games are in Philadelphia. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think Philly takes care of business, or do the Marlins fight back?
I mean, one thing that's about Miami is that Miami always finds a way. You were mentioning how it feels like we should have been in the playoffs. But looking back at the Heat, like whenever they get counted out, it's when they're the best. And I do think that we're gonna win tonight. I think we're gonna win both games. And it's crazy that you mentioned that it's been 20 years because
20 years.
So the last time they made it was before I was born. I was born that year. So now now I'm 20 and now they're back in the playoffs. And I hope this streak continues of the full season. You know, hopefully we can win the title again. That'll be amazing. But my predictions, I think we're definitely gonna win.
Love that.
We'll see. I mean, I feel like when you're counted out, especially Miami, when you get counted out, like that's when we play our best. I don't know. It's just like that dog in you, you know?
Yeah.
Like I grew up playing basketball and like you can get in a zone sometimes when like there's no pressure on you. You just go out there and play and you can get in that zone. So that's what we're banking on right now.
Yeah.
We bank on our players getting in that zone and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's almost like that Heat culture is infectious. It's just even with like the Panthers, right? Like the Florida Panthers, the hockey team. Like those guys were down 3-1 to Boston and came back and won. And the Bruins at that time were literally the best team in NHL history. They had the most points going into the playoffs ever. And the Florida Panthers came in there down 3-1 and took care of business.
Something's
So
up in TD Garden.
yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Something's up in TD Garden. Kyrie Irving was burning that sage in there. Something happened.
Yeah, so it's going to be super interesting to see. I agree everything to what you said, Abram. Like whenever people doubt us, we perform at a higher level. We play at a different level. Like try doubting Jimmy. Try doubting Tua. Everyone doubted Tua already. Look at him now. He's MVP candidate, even though he had a bad game. I guarantee you Sunday he's gonna go off. But yeah, man, I have the Marlins winning back-to-back games. I have them rallying in this one in Philadelphia to take the playoffs back to Miami. The first few games will be in Atlanta when we advance, but to see a playoff series, to even one playoff game in Miami in the new stadium, it's gonna be electric. I would expect a full house. What do you guys think? Do you think fans would pull up, or
if there's a drone show, then people will go.
Now, you never know with Miami fans. You know, sometimes I'm going to say Heat Stadium and nobody's there. So, but
we make the playoffs and Kim Kardashian will show up or something.
yeah. Maybe if Messi was playing.
Yeah, Messi put a glove on. We'll see. But yeah, I think we're good to wrap it up here. Yeah.
I was gonna say, something about emo Jimmy Butler. I don't know if you guys want to mention that.
Yeah. Oh, his new look. Oh yeah. Man. So Jimmy Butler for media day, he came to the Kaseya. He came to the Kaseya Center saying how he was in an emotional state. He's been going through a lot of emotions the past few weeks, outside of just basketball, but life in general, I suppose. And he pulled up with about 3 piercings on his lower lip, one or two piercings on his nose, and even one on his eyebrow. And he straightened his hair, had eyeliner, and went full goth on us. So I'll just say what I think, and then I'll let you guys go ahead. I loved it, especially with the whole Dame situation. I think it takes questions off of that and gives the attention. Not that he's seeking attention, but he's just trying to like throw everyone off, like on top, like beyond like just taking the picture as like a goth, look, makeup and stuff. I think it really helped the team. Like just 1 laugh, 2 take like just like cancel out the BS, just for even a couple minutes. Like you see Jimmy, you laugh, you dab him up, and then you go about your day. It's like, oh, it's Jimmy being Jimmy. And then like when he answers, like when he's at the podium, people are asking him about that, right? And like how confident you are about going back to the East. Like they're not really talking about Dame this, Dame that. It's like maybe they asked Bam a little bit, but even Bam said it best. Like Dame, he got what he wanted. He's competing for a ring now. So he got out of Portland. He's competing with one of the best players ever in the league and ever for sure. Giannis is a freak. And man, that big picture wise, I love that Jimmy came to media day like that, because I think it eases the pressure off everyone, and that he's just being a great leader. I love Jimmy Butler. But yeah, I
didn't even think about it like that. That's actually a good point that you bring up, because especially for Tyler Hero, I think that Tyler Hero needed something like that, because all the fire was gonna be thrown at him. Oh, you didn't get traded. How do you feel, this and that? And on top of that, I just love Butler, Jimmy for being like that, because a lot of players, they go to media day, they're super like NPC. They just give the answers that the PR team wants them to give. But Butler has always been different. It's always been funny. I was like been very truthful about everything, and I love the confidence that he portrays every single time because that's actually how he is. So I found it super funny. And like you said, I didn't think about it that way, but that's a very good point.
Yeah, I love how Jimmy doesn't care. You know, like it's not like everyone's sort of like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? We didn't get Dave. We're gonna not make the playoff. We're gonna be 15th seed and we're gonna get relegated to the WNBA or something. Like, it's gonna be fine. Jimmy straightened his hair. He shut up because he's emo like the rest of us. Like it's fine. We're gonna get through it.
Yeah,
It's
funny.
fine.
Yeah, they asked him. He said, we're gonna get back. We're gonna win the East. We're gonna go to the finals, and this time we're gonna win. And then you guys are gonna say it's lucky. That's verbatim. That's like what he said, and I love it.
If somehow we don't win, which knock on wood, everyone on Twitter's gonna be like, "Oh, Jimmy said you guys were gonna win." Blah blah blah. Like, so
Yeah,
Jimmy doesn't care.
Yeah, he said we were gonna win a game in the playoffs that we lost. It's the confidence.
And Jimmy said he's gonna win every game, and that's what you want from your best player.
Exactly. He wasn't even 100% at all. Like it's ever since the Josh Hart, I dislike you so much. I hope you hear this. I dislike you so much. But yeah, ever since that incident in New York, he 100% was not the same. Aside from that one Grant Williams game in Boston, where he went nose to nose, like obviously he was like in another level, and then he retweaked his ankle in game 7. So, and then it would never have happened anyways if it wasn't for Josh Hart. You're the worst. But yeah, Jimmy Butler and Tyler being healthy this time around, we're going to win it all, baby. I love it.
Absolutely. I think that's wraps for us. We've been here for a while. We don't want to keep you here any longer. But yeah, we've said what we had to say. We dedicate this episode to Josh Hart. So
yeah, check out Heated Slow Flow.
Check out Heated Slow Flow. Jamie's article is going to be coming out soon. We got more stories coming out. We got a gym story coming out soon.
Yes, sir.
More food shows from me. Yeah. Everything
A lot of
and
content
anything
coming
Miami
out.
news.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything Miami, baby.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.